What's this? A delivery of fresh meat and organs straight to our front door? You should know, we like to play with our food behind these walls.
What are we waiting for? Let's show these globs we mean business.
Smell their heads? Smells like spoils.
Welcome back to another Shadow of War video, guys. Today we're going to be discussing what happened to Shadow of War and why the game was considered a failure. So let's go and jump straight into it. It has to do with two major things, but let's jump into the main one. The main one being was there was review copies released of the game, and it looked very, very promising. However, the review copies of the game did not include one of the biggest negatives of the game from the gaming community, which is microtransactions. Microtransactions were snuck into the game essentially past the review copies of the game, and the review copies of the game did not have, and early copies of the game did not have microtransactions in it. This was actually debunked later, as Jared, which is one of the managers over at Monolith, he stated and said in a live stream that microtransactions never really wanted it to be put into the game. This is something that they mentioned after they removed them out of the game, and he stated and said that they never wanted microtransactions into the game. It was part of a contract to do with WB Games. So WB Games had them put microtransactions in the game. So that led a lot of people away. As soon as people found out that there was microtransactions in the game, immediately they were like, don't buy this game, don't go near this game, don't play this game, etc. And that left a really bad taste in the mouth in terms of people wanting to get the game. The second that they heard all over the internet, all over YouTube, oh, this has microtransactions, don't get it, don't buy it because of this reason, a lot of people didn't buy it or looked at the game negatively, whereas Shadow of Mordor didn't have microtransactions, so it was seen as the golden game out of the two. The other biggest negative to the game was actually how the fortress assaults were originally going to be in the game. If you guys go look up the original IGN video of Shadow of War fortress assault gameplay, you will see that the fortress assaults were completely different than how they are in the game that came out. And the reason for this is actually a reason that Michael DePlatter from Monolith actually answered himself on a live stream, which is that was a demo built that they wanted to overall wind up making the game like that. However, due to how the Nemesis system worked, it was not integrating well with how they wanted it to go, as well as time constraints. They really couldn't work that out, so they had to wind up going with the fortress assaults that they wound up going with. And finally, the very last thing is a lot of people realized that once it came to it that, you had microtransactions in the game, and then on top of that, the fortress assaults weren't what they were supposed to be. You had the third thing, which is people found out that overlords, when essentially made, Uruks or captains, when essentially made overlords, would not change their overall look or get brand new unique armor based on the classes that they were, or the tribes that they were. And this was a huge downfall for the game. So you add up all three things here, and that is overall why Shadow of War failed. The main biggest one is being microtransactions, which unfortunately was due to the WB Games contract that they had to actually obey by for the first year of the game, and then they removed microtransactions out of it. The second one being, of course, the fortress assaults, which was the number one biggest thing. They essentially could not do it due to time constraints. WB had them on crunch essentially a lot of times, and on top of that, the Nemesis system did not work how they wanted it to with that fortress assault system. Unfortunately, even though it was a really cool aspect and they said they really wanted it to be that way, it overall couldn't be that way. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.